Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is 5 mistakes to avoid when you're just starting acting. These I kind of wish, well actually like I've always done most of these to begin with. But like, I don't know. I just thought they'd help you guys. I did go through Actors, Models, and Talent for Christ. So I learned all this stuff there. Like while I was in training for their Orlando Shine event. If you guys want me to do an AMTC, what I went through with AMTC, it was a lot of fun and everything. Just let me know in the comments, or I'll randomly just have that video show up on a Friday. So it's like 5 mistakes to avoid while acting. These are like big ones. There's a lot of mistakes to avoid. I did Google. That's how I came up with all these. So let's get into the video. So mistake number 1 is not trusting your gut. So if you find a casting call, it sounds perfect and everything, well, first of all, that's great. It's good to find a casting calls. What you'll want to do is, if it sounds way too good to be true, it probably is, do research. Do more research on the production company, on the director, on the, I don't know, casting director. Find out who's putting out this movie. Just do a lot of research. Find out if it's legit, and then where they're filming. Because you obviously don't want to film at like some alleyway at midnight in, I don't know, some city. Especially if there's only like 2 people there. It's not safe. Just trust your gut. So if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, but it might not be. So if it sounds great and perfect, then just do research. The biggest mistake that you can make, in my opinion, is not trusting your gut. It's not listening to yourself. If something makes you uncomfortable or nervous, don't do it. So yeah, step number 1. The mistake is not trusting your gut. The correct answer is always trust your gut. So mistake number 2 is only acting for the money. If all you want to do, you're beginning acting. So maybe you've done community theater, maybe you've done high school drama, and that's all you've got. You want to break out into film. Don't act just for the money. That is another mistake you could be making, because you're missing out on a lot of acting opportunities just because they don't pay. Especially if you're a beginner actor, you don't want, or you can submit, go ahead, submit for every role that you fit for. You just don't want to exclude the ones that don't pay or pay very little, because those could be the ones that really boost your reel up and make it better for agents, casting directors, producers to see your work, is to see what you've done. And the best way to do that is by acting in student films, short films, independent films, films that pay very little, films that pay a lot, films that don't pay at all. Just do what you can to get your feet in the door. To try out film, to decide if you really want to do film acting. If all you've done is theater and you're like, well, I want to try acting or film acting, and so just try student films. You can still get good footage from student films, and that'll also tell you if you like being in front of a camera or if you'd rather be on a stage. So tip number 2 is don't only act for the money. Tip number 3 is, if an actor, director, producer, casting director gives you advice, always listen. The mistake is not to listen, because if you don't listen, you could miss out on something. You could do something wrong. Yeah, you want to make your own mistakes, but in acting, you don't really want to make mistakes. If someone tells you hey, don't, like, I don't know, don't read this book, or, I mean, obviously you could read whatever book you want, but, like, you want to just listen to the advice they give you, because they have, maybe it's an actor who has already broken the industry, but not, like, completely in it, but, like, they're, like, you're here, like, this is you breaking into the industry, and they're, like, 2 steps ahead of you, because, yeah, like that, because they've already broken the industry, but they're not, like, well-known yet, and they know a little bit more about something than you do, because you're new to the industry. So listen to what they have to say. If it doesn't apply to you, you don't have to, like, remember it, but you should try and remember some of it, because maybe it will apply to you eventually down the road. Or you could always write it down. That way, if you do forget, at least it's written down in a notebook. So there's the third advice. Always listen to others' advice. Number 4 is not... It's actually a very good one. So number 4 is not knowing your lines perfectly. That's a mistake. You should always know your lines perfectly. Because you want to be ready to film. So you get to set, if they say you're up, action. You should be able to say your lines, no problem. Now, if the director changes your lines, decides like, hey, at the last minute, you're there, he changes your lines, you're not expected to know them perfectly that second, but you need to be able to memorize those lines within a few minutes' time, just because you don't want to hold up the shoot. So it shouldn't take, I mean, if it's just like a line or two, it shouldn't take that long to just switch some words around. But that is my 4th tip for you. Always know your lines perfectly. If you do know your lines, you'll earn more respect, and you might get some more work just because you came to set totally prepared. So that's tip number 4. Number 5, the 5th and last tip, is, okay, so say you are wearing a microphone because of the scene, you're outside, it's windy, and they're shooting a wider shot, so you're further back. Say, okay, I'm against my closet door, and we're talking like, I'm against my closet door, they're trying to get the entire shot, and they're filming at the other end of my room. It's like 8-9 feet. So they would put a mic on me, just so that way the boom man or woman would not be in the shot, because you don't want to be in the shot. And so the worst thing you could do is forget you're wearing a mic, because, well, first of all, you should be polite and kind and respectful to everybody. But, I mean, the worst thing you could do is forget you're wearing it, and say something, like, the wrong way, and it gets back to somebody, and you get fired from set because of that. But another tip that kind of goes in with that, be polite, be kind, be respectful. You could book more work that way. And plus, kindness, if you're kind to someone, they're going to be kind to you. So always spread the kindness around. Never forget you're wearing a mic. Always remember your lines. Listen to the advice. Trust your gut. And don't just act for the money. Act for the fun of it, because you love it. So, those are my tips for you this week. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And also let me know if you have any other acting tips you would like me to do. Acting tips, modeling tips, or just any videos you'd like to see. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.